morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are we doing today?
Doing great.
Okay, ma'am.
Fabulous. So, welcome to my session of communication skills. My name is Madhura, and I'm going to be with you for the next 20 minutes. So, before I go ahead, what do we know about communication skills? Would somebody like to share with me? How you can speak and all that. Fabulous. Anything else?
How to
Anything else?
interact with others?
How to interact with others. Fantastic. So let's look at the objectives. What are the things that we are going to learn today? We're going to talk about the definition, which we'll try and attempt. We'll talk about the styles of communication. We will also talk about Professor Albert Mehrben's theory of communication. I think we spoke about this yesterday, so we'll discuss a little more on that. We'll talk a little bit about body language. Again, one of our friends has already talked about that, so we'll do a recap of that, and along with that, I'm going to give you some more inputs on it. We are going to talk about the tone. We are going to talk about the verbal communication, and finally, we'll talk about telephone etiquette. Why telephone etiquette?
Because in our job role it's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. So for our job roles, it's a very vital portion of communication, and that's why I thought we will touch a little bit upon.
Why don't
Telephone
we just
etiquette.
talk about telephone etiquette?
We will, but to be able to understand telephone etiquette, we need to understand the basics of communication first, and that's exactly why we are going to build up to telephone etiquette. Here is a picture on the screen. What do you see, Devnath?
Two people are discussing.
So what is that? What do you think is going on?
I don't know what communication is all about.
That's what communication is all about. So communication is all about two people talking, interacting. But if two people were going to talk together at the same time, would it make sense?
No.
So what would they have to do?
One speaks, other listens.
One speaks, the other listens, and then the other understands what the other person's saying and explains again or talks again, gives you feedback again. So, in other words, it is the art of imparting or conveying ideas, views or information from the mind of one person.
Ma'am, soliloquy, is that communication? Talking to yourself.
It is monologue. You can say, you can talk to yourself, however, it is not interaction. Talking to yourself would be communication also, but it's communicating with yourself. But if you're going to communicate with somebody else, then that would fall under this definition.
So soliloquy is not communication.
It is communication.
So then why won't it fall over here?
Because here we are talking about exchanging of information and we are not talking about talking aloud. Soliloquy is when you think in your mind or you talk aloud. Speak your mind, right? But you don't need an audience for that. You can do it on your own as well. Because you're not looking for a feedback from the other person.
Okay.
However, in a communication where we are communicating with somebody else, we are looking for a feedback. When I say something to you, you are listening to me and you're responding. When you respond, I in turn respond back to what you just told me. So that is the cycle of communication in one line. So to complete the definition, it is the art of imparting or conveying ideas, views or information from the mind of one person to the mind of the other to achieve the desired result. What would be the desired result for us in a work scenario?
The correct message is conveyed.
The correct message is conveyed to who?
The person who's looking for a solution or resolution,
Person.
the person who we are talking to.
Perfect. So that could be your customer, it could be your colleagues, it could be with your boss. Yes, Nilanjan, would you like to share something?
No, ma'am, it is.
No,
No.
please. Why don't you share what you find funny? Because we'd all like to know, right?
No,
Please tell
actually,
us.
we find funny the person having two shades of pant and two different.
I know, that is funny, isn't it? Weird fashion, I tell you. However, let's move on to the next slide. So I have a little activity for you. Would somebody like to volunteer?
I'm volunteer.
Oh, fantastic. So, big round of applause for Kamal for coming up and helping us. So, Kamal, here's something that you need to do for us. I'm going to show you a picture that you need to describe so that people sitting here can draw.
So you want me to instruct them to draw something?
Yes, You will be instructing them to draw something and you'll only get 2 minutes to do this. And the instruction to the audience, if you may look at me, you may not ask any questions to him. So you have to draw as you understand. And Kamal, you will not be able to use your hand,
expressions.
nothing. You just have to tell them verbally what is it that you see and you are going to be drawing. So do we all have a piece of paper in front of us and a pen?
Yes,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. I have a very good bunch of trainees, I tell you.
Can I tell
Alright,
them
so-
what is it that they're drawing? No, only
Yes,
the-
yes, you can describe in any way. Wait, just make
tell
sure
me.
that you don't use your hands and you only speak and you cannot ask any questions. Okay, so 2 minutes to do this. Yes, you can say that.
Okay, hi class.
Hello.
So as I'm assisting our facilitator, so I also have the privilege of becoming one today, so you better listen to me.
Ma'am is acting rude now.
No, I was
No,
just
he's
joking with my
not.
friends. So today we are going to draw a face of a clown, and I'm only allowed to instruct you without any hand gestures. So we have only 2 minutes and our time has already started. So to draw the face of the clown, first we'll draw the clown's cap or a hat he's wearing. So please draw a small circle in the middle of the page, a small circle. Then connect the circle with a triangle.
Good job.
After you connect the circle with a triangle, after the triangle is complete, draw a semicircle, a half circle to make a face of a clown. Just like a face of a clown, a semicircle. After you have done that, as you know how we draw ears when we were small, just 2 semicircles to make it like the cup handles that you do on both sides. After you do the cup handles, towards the bottom of the semicircle, that is after you have drawn the semicircle for the face, towards the bottom, draw 3 leaves to show the designer pattern, the costume the clowns wear.
We have 1 minute left.
3 leaves, big leaves, connecting each other, pointing downwards. Big ones, okay? After that, if you look at the page on your left hand side, the eyebrow should be a normal eyebrow, like a human being's normal eyebrow. On the left, when you look down. And on the right eyebrow is a triangle without a base.
Half a minute to go.
Come on, fast, cooperation people. Right side, a triangle without a base. Underneath, please draw 2 circles, the eyes, and fill the eyes with pupil on like a cockeyed eye. The cockeyed eye. The pupil should be pointing towards the nose. Please draw a nose in between, which should be a circle again. And then complete the drawing with a mouth. The mouth, do you remember how you used to draw a
5,
mouth?
4,
Just a mouth.
3, 2, 1, and your time's up. Let's see how many people have been able to draw
Ma'am,
this.
see my picture. I think it's the best, ma'am. See?
Oh, fabulous. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Do I get a prize?
Lovely. Lovely. Okay, so let's
We
show you the
actually-
picture. The picture is this. Do any of you think that you came close to what was instructed?
I was pretty close, ma'am.
Other
See?
than
The mouth.
the mouth and the hat, I think I was pretty close.
Okay, good. So we are going to look at who was the best and we'll think about the prize that we'll give you. Now, I have one more drawing for you. Okay, so Kamal is going to continue being here, helping me. And this time we are going to draw another picture.
He's asking, is this a drawing class?
It is. You know, drawing always made us more creative when we were growing up, right? So I thought, why not practice those skills today? So now, in the new picture that we will show you, the difference is this time you can ask questions and Kamal can also give more specific directions.
Hand
Alright.
gestures allowed.
Hand gestures allowed, questions allowed. So you may ask questions, he may give you more description. Alright? So this time, you still have 2 minutes to do this. So are you ready for this?
Yes.
Yes,
So-
before you start immediately taking the instructions down, I'd like you to remember this is a very common drawing. As a kid, we used to always draw in school. Remember mountains, sun in between the mountains, and there's a river flowing. Do not start. There's a river or a pond on the left side, a small house in the middle with a tree. Now to start the drawing, I would like you to shift to the left bottom corner of your notebooks and draw a pond. Now the pond is not a complete pond, it is just stretch your pencil from one end to the end, like a semicircle pond on the end.
You can ask questions too.
If you have
haven't
any
understood
doubt.
something.
Okay? And after you finish the pond, go on top of the page and draw the mountain range. The mountain range should be just like triangles without the base.
How many?
Connecting
How many mountains?
Good question.
six mountains. 6.5 rather. There's a half portion sticking out in the drawing. So 6.5 mountains.
All right.
After you draw 6.5 mountains, on the right side, leaving 2 mountains, draw the sun in between. Not in between the mountain, like between the gap, the crest. Not a half sun, an entire sun, a round sun, not a half sun. Okay?
You can ask questions to understand it even better.
Now just draw a line underneath the mountain to finish the range, the complete range. Just draw the line. After you draw the line, bring your attention to the middle of the page, and when you come to the middle of the page, I want you to draw a house. Now the house should have a rooftop which should be just simple in nature, should be both ends like this.
Parallelogram.
Yes, a parallelogram, but without a triangle in the end. It should be a house with a shed on both sides,
Oh, so
with a roof connecting the shed.
Okay, so rectangle on top of it, there's a triangle.
No triangle, there is no triangle. Just do one thing, draw 2 parallel lines and finish, after drawing 2 parallel lines, finish the ends with a angular shade connecting the line. 2 straight parallel lines connecting the corners.
Kamal's doing a very good job at
After that, complete the house with a square by joining them completely, leaving little bit of the edge from the roof and just a door in between.
Okay, so we've run out of time. Thank you so much, Kamal. A big round of applause for him for assisting me, and a big round of applause for yourselves for participating in this activity. So tell me, 2 drawings were given to you. In one, you were not allowed to ask questions. In the other, you were allowed to ask questions, and he was also allowed to use gestures and, more specific communication. What did you understand? Which one was the easier one to do?
The one with communication.
With gestures and everything.
He was communicating before as well.
I thought the first one was easy because the drawing was easy.
Okay, but in terms of interaction, which one was easier? Was it easier to understand, Kamal, when you were not allowed to ask any questions? For example, in the second one, a couple of you asked how many triangles in the mountain, So that gave you specifics because you asked questions. So which one was easier, the second
When
scenario
you
or
are
the
able
first
to
one?
ask questions and get clarifications.
Absolutely. So when we can ask questions and get clarifications, it becomes easier to communicate. What else? What else did you observe? What else did you observe? Aditya,
Observe that it was
Two-way interaction.
two-way interaction. Fabulous. What else? Anybody else? Anything else that comes to your mind if I show you the name of the slide which says styles of communication?
The way
Gest-
he communicated with the gestures. the
All right.
communication,
Okay.
The mode of communication, that was English.
Fabulous. So let's look at 2 basic styles of communication. One is called transaction, the other one is called interaction. So now I'm sure with this slide as your help, Abhi, would you be able to explain to us what is the first style and what is the second one? What is the difference between the two? Related to the activity that you just did? And read the slide to help us understand what these 2 styles are all about.
Yeah, the first one says transaction. The communication is restricted to exchange of information only.
Correct?
So the first activity we did
Mm-hmm.
was this, wherein we just exchanged. He just gave us the information and we didn't do anything else.
Okay.
We just followed that.
Alright.
Interaction is the second one, where the exchange of information was there, ideas, opinions between and among speaker and the audience.
Okay.
So we exchanged our opinions and we asked questions.
So you were more accurate in your result, right? So what else does this remind you of? Another thing that we learned over the last few days, something very crucial to this session.
Was it active listening, ma'am?
You're correct. So had you listened actively, you would be able to remember this. Devnath, would you like to contribute? Does this remind you of something else that we learned?
Yes,
4 minutes left.
Transaction, I remember pedagogy that we have learned,
Okay.
and interaction is anthropology, I believe.
Fabulous. Big round of applause. Alright, and that takes us to the theory of Professor Merbein. We have spoken about it, so I'm not going to waste too much time on it. We already
I've
said.
forgotten.
I beg your pardon?
I forgot.
So you may look at this slide to refresh your memories. We spoke about components in a conference communication where 7% is all there is to words, 38% is the tone, and 55% is the
Body language.
You do, right? Fabulous. So body language. In short, what is it?
It's the way you speak.
The way you speak, the way you move.
Lot
Aniket,
of
would you like
makeup.
to come here, please?
Yeah,
the front
sure.
of the class.
Why not?
Please stand here.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi, Aniket.
Let's shake hands.
Yes.
Is this body language?
Yes.
Yes? Yes? One of the most crucial body languages?
Yeah.
The distance that we are maintaining between each other. Body language. This is called this is the space that is called a business space that we maintain when we speak with professional people. If we were friends, then we would not be at a 2-arm distance. Then we would be at a 1-arm distance. Being this close is okay when you know somebody. So this is the personal space. And then there's the third space, which is the intimate space, which I'm sorry I cannot demonstrate. Thank you so much. Alright? So,
Oh, there is no clap for me. Okay.
of course, that's a big round of applause for
For
you.
yourself.
Right. So body language talks about how you move, how you express, how are your eye contact with people, how is it that you're managing your body, you're not distracting, you're moving in a way where you're not dominating at the same time, you're forthcoming. So all of it put together is what study of body language is all about. And it's
Does it mean you need to do a lot of makeup for
makeup
girls?
is part of grooming.
Okay.
However, we will talk about it in another session. Now let's talk about the 38% tone. Okay, I'll tell you a quick
It looks
little
like
story.
Aditya.
Yes, Abhi?
This looks like Aditya.
Okay.
Ma'am, he is disturbing a lot.
Alright, can you please listen to me? I'm going to tell you a little story and you need to, then we'll talk about what this tone is all about. So, I used to live in Mumbai at one time, and one day I was returning from work when I saw a lot of crowd outside my house. So I was wondering what happened. Got down, asked the security and found out that Amitabh Bachchan was visiting my building. Of course I was excited, right? So I started asking a few more people and then I found out. Sorry? Amitabh Bachchan is a
You don't know
legendary
Amitabh Bachchan?
actor who I am a big fan
No,
of.
Abhishek Bachchan.
Okay, Abhi, can we please speak one at a time? So I'm talking right now and then I'll give you your chance to talk, alright? So I found out that Amitabh Bachchan was not only visiting my building, he was across my apartment. I couldn't contain my excitement anymore. So what I did is, I made an excuse to go knock on my neighbor's door, who I hardly know. So I took a empty cup and I went to my neighbor and I actually rang the bell and I asked her, do you mind if I borrow some sugar? I've just run out. So my neighbor said, not a problem at all, just a moment, I'll go get some sugar. And as she walked into the kitchen, I walked in, I peeped inside the room, and then what happened? I'm not going to tell you right now. Alright? So, how many of you think that this story that I just shared with you is the truth?
I don't think.
I think it was made up story.
You think it was made up?
Made
How
up.
many of you think it was real?
No one.
I think it was.
You thought it was real. Alright, so communication is all
Time
about.
out.
Thank you.